Today we have Carrie Goldberg from Rotary International. I've worked with her a while on some Toastmaster Rotary connections. I'd like to interview her today. So, Carrie, why don't you tell me a little bit about what your role is in Rotary International?
Sure. So I am the membership growth and engagement manager, and I work on a few different areas. I I work on our membership leads platform and resource development. I also manage Rotary International Service Awards, so the Service Above Self Award and all those different recognition opportunities that recognize members' hard work and years of service. And then another area of work that I enjoy working on is the work with Toastmasters International. So we have had a relationship with Toastmasters since 2019, and I am the liaison at Rotary for that relationship.
Sounds really interesting. Tell us a little bit about your Toastmaster journey.
Well, when I started working at Rotary in 2008, I found myself having to give presentations for different work purposes and getting super nervous and getting really tongue twisted. And I hated that feeling and I wanted to do something about it. And so I started doing some research and I found Toastmasters kept popping up in my searches. And so I didn't see a club near, well, I wanted to attend during work hours during my lunch break, and I didn't see one that was available. So there was a link that said, if there's not a club near you, start your own club. So I decided to start a club in the Rotary building where I work. And luckily, this is a building that has a lot of different employees, not only Rotary, but we have other businesses that work out of this building as well. And so we started advertising and we got more than 20 people that were interested. So we started a club. So I led that club for a few years, served in different leadership roles. And yeah, I've kind of been in and out of it. I'm not in it right now, but it's nice that it's here in case I want to practice some more. And I did learn a lot out of that. So yeah, and now here I am. I'm working with Toastmasters International colleagues regularly on this alliance. So it's nice to have that background in both Rotary and Toastmasters.
So are you, or I know you did something with working on the Toastmasters pathways materials and trying to integrate those and putting them versions of those on the Rotary site. So are you in charge of that or how did that work?
Yeah, so when we first decided to form an alliance with Toastmasters, it was interesting because there had been discussions for years leading up to when we finally announced it and moved forward with it. And I wasn't involved in all of those conversations. I was kind of pulled in 2019 into the conversations, but there was there was a lot of interest, but they weren't sure what it would look like. What would this relationship look like? How would it work? And so one idea that had come up was, well, leadership and communication, those are skills that Rotary members could benefit from. And it could, there could be interest there, especially with our Rotaract members, our younger
Mhm.
members. There was the idea that they would be more interested in these courses. So what we did was worked with Toastmasters their curriculum development team took their pathways curriculum and pulled out some of the more general concepts and created courses that were specifically for Rotary members, Rotary and Rotaract members. And I was part of that process of reviewing the content and, like adding some examples that were from Rotary and kind of their format for their curriculum was a little bit different than how we did it in our learning center. So we had a team of people here at Rotary that were, consulting on the development of those courses. So that was kind of the premise of the whole alliance when we first launched. And we worked with them to they developed 8 different courses that we made available to our members in the Learning Center. And so that's kind of the tangible product that came out of that.
How often are those used by the current Rotary members?
So we had a lot of interest. We promoted them a lot. There was there were tons of engagement. I think we had 18,000 engagements, meaning like people were in those courses. Completion rates were a lot lower because, as you know, being a Toastmaster member, the curriculum is a lot more in depth. And it required, so these courses not only presented content on, for example, developing a speech, but then there was an assignment to go develop your own speech and deliver it, get feedback, and then come back to the course. So we lost some people in that process, but they were definitely interested in engaging with the content. Now, actually, those courses are being reformatted and they're not available because we're going to reformat them and make them compatible with our Learning Center mobile app. So yeah, they'll be
Was,
in a better format and I think shorter and more digestible.
yeah, I remember they had me, I was one of the people that got to preview some of their early efforts.
Oh,
They,
good.
the first one, they basically took everything that Toastmasters did and tried to put it into one presentation. I told them that's just not going to work. You need to break it apart and
Yeah,
figure out how to do that.
that was good advice. Yeah.
And it takes like, so they're basically breaking it down a little bit more, even further. I think that's a good idea. And I'm looking forward to, let me know when the next version is available. I'd like to go ahead and check it out and see how it might work.
Definitely.
One of the things that I had is, I know in Toastmasters, I've been to the last international convention that I went to, the one that was in Anaheim,
Mhm.
which I saw you there. I talked to a lot of the international directors who are running for to be elected to try to find out if they might have a program that would be less expensive for people that live in countries that basically can't afford Toastmaster annual dues, even though
Mhm.
they're not much and quite a bit less than what Rotary has.
Yeah,
And I was wondering, I know for like Rotaract, they have basically a lower price
right.
thing that they could belong to. So would how much is the Rotaract fees if for someone in, I don't know if it gets discounted or something for a country like the rural part of Uganda. Kampala is very different than, say, Mambali or one of the other smaller cities or areas around there.
Yeah, I don't have those figures in front of me, but I know so there's with Rotaract, there's the community based and the university based. And I believe it's $8 per year. It's
Okay.
significantly lower than the
Okay.
Rotary Club dues. And it might only be for one of those types of Rotaract clubs. And yeah, I don't have that quote right in front of me, but it's something like that.
It would be pretty, I think it would be really interesting if you could make the Toastmaster content available through that channel so that people involved in Rotaract, who probably are going to be the ones also
Mhm.
who would be most interested in the product, could then
Mhm.
use it online and in effect have like a component almost of Toastmasters and Rotary. That would be how you end up merging it all together. And as those people eventually become more Rotarians, then it can evolve in that method.
Yeah. Yeah, our Learning Center is actually available to Rotaractors as well as Rotary members. So they both have access to all of our content on there and will once we reformat these as well. And you know what, we found that when we first announced that we were actually it was in the Hamburg convention, we had a breakout
I was
session.
there. I was at the front
Yeah,
row.
you remember the Toastmasters president at the time, Lark Doley, was on stage announcing it. And then we had a breakout session on the courses, and we were talking about how they were going to be made available to Rotaractors first and then to Rotarians. And we had so many people come up to us, Rotarians, saying, why are why Rotaractors first? Like there was a lot of interest among Rotarians. So we ended up rolling it out to both at the same time. And really, when looking at usage, now we do have a lot more Rotarians than we do Rotaractors, but I think it was around 11% of our users who had engaged with the courses were Rotaractors. So partially due to our numbers, like the percentage of the total membership, but also I think we were a bit off on assuming that they would be more appealing to Rotaractors because we had tons of Rotarians
Mhm.
taking them as well. So we'll promote them to both audiences.
Okay, that
Yeah.
sounds really interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did have one other question. You might have some inside information.
Yeah.
So where is the 2027 conference going to be held? Last time I heard it might be in Dubai, but where is it going to be?
I believe it is Dubai. Yeah, I think that's available on the website now.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure we had we had an email about that.
So when do you think the next US one will be?
Well, there's also one on the books for Minneapolis. And then Chicago is in 2030. I can
Okay.
go to the website to find out. Yeah, I think Minneapolis is a couple of, might be 2028. I'll have to double check. It's published though on the convention site.
Oh, okay. I didn't know they
Yeah.
published them that far out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was excited to hear about the one in Honolulu. And the first one never happened, and I was registered to go to it when COVID happened and it got canceled.
I was hoping to go to that one too. Yeah, it was too bad. But it'll be nice to get that one back on the calendar for sure.
Well, I hope you become more involved in your Toastmaster club up there. And
Thank
hey,
you.
if you'd ever like to stop by and visit my club sometime, you're more than welcome. We're an online and in-person club.
I would love to.
We're
Yeah,
not-
we're really, trying to encourage, we're going to be sending out some more communications about the Alliance in general.
Mhm.
And we're taking a slightly different direction with it, wanting to emphasize membership growth a little bit stronger and the benefits that members can have if they belong to both organizations. Like, it's really great to continually get to practice your leadership and communication skills in Toastmasters, and then that helps you in your Rotary club, but it also just in general in your work life, your personal life, and we'd like more Toastmasters members to consider joining Rotary as well, so that they can apply those skills toward helping their communities. So,
Anyway, my club meets at 7 o'clock in the morning every
yeah.
Thursday. So that'd be 6 o'clock your time. I don't know what time you get up or
Okay, that's
start your
about the time
day.
I get.
We do have a member from our club who lives in Wisconsin. We have some that are just virtual, Wisconsin. We have one in Florida, one in Michigan, and of course, Bonnie Mark in Uganda. So
Wow.
those four are
Wow.
online only now.
Okay.
Most of our meetings have 10 to 12 in person and anywhere from 4 to 8 online, about average.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would love to visit sometime. I'll wake up a little earlier and bring my coffee.
All right, I'll send you a link. Yeah, you don't have to do anything. Just sort of sit and listen and
Yeah,
see what our club's like. I'm
yeah.
president this year for about the third time, I think.
What's that? You're
I'm
co-president?
president for about the
Oh,
third time.
yeah.
We had the last guy wanted to keep on, our president from last year wanted to keep on doing it for this year, but they won't allow you to be president 2 years in a row.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So he's secretary this year and he
You
might be
can.
president again next year. We'll see how that works out. But he did a fantastic job and he was a fairly new member too.
Oh, wow. That's great. That's great. And how many people did you say are in the club?
I think we're up to about 26 or so in my club.
Oh, that's a good size.
Mhm.
Now, does your Rotary Club and Toastmasters Club work together in any capacity?
I've had people from my Toastmaster club present at my Rotary club, but I haven't, other than that, not really.
Okay.
Now I have had when I went to do my presentations or my project in Uganda, I did do Toastmaster stuff while I was there as well. I presented
Yeah.
a speechcraft workshop each time, usually to around somewhere between 15 and 20 Ugandans. They
Uh-huh.
seemed to really enjoy it, but it was a little pricey for them to be able to join and form their own Toastmaster club.
Oh, yeah, that's so hard with the pricing. Oh, we were talking with Toastmaster. I was talking with my counterpart over at Toastmasters about that and how, we have so many similar, you know, challenges. They were structured the same way and everything. And yeah, we were talking about dues increases and like, how it's different, like you said, like $8 here is a lot more, in Uganda or some other place. So, but it's hard to vary that and for the finance department to like, solve for that.
remember when I was in Uganda, and you get Facebook ads pop up. And one popped up there when I was in Uganda for a job at a city nearby, and it was for actually for a full-time, I think it was some sort of lower level manager, clerk kind of thing. And what they got paid, the salary for a month was about what I got paid at that time for my job for 2 hours of work.
Oh my gosh.
So that shows
Oh,
you the disparity in
yeah,
income between the two. Of course, I was working in a more higher level job here, but
sure.
still,
But
it's
still,
I'm
yeah,
retired now from working. I'm
congratulations.
still working on other projects and staying busy, but
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it. Well, I don't know if you've heard about some other kinds of collaborations that Rotary and Toastmasters clubs are doing, but I mean, we didn't promote this concept, but we heard about it happening in four different areas in the world. Are you familiar with Toastmasters youth leadership program curriculum?
I've, I know that I've seen the youth program, but I thought it was just
Okay.
like ongoing for like 8 weeks. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
that. It's
Mhm.
that.
Yeah, I've done that.
And oh, you have done it. So some Rotary and Toastmasters clubs have collaborated on that, on putting on this 8-week workshop for a group of young people, whether that's interactors or just a group of young people in the community or kids of the Rotarians or something like that. And the Rotarians do like the logistics and the marketing and the communications, and the Toastmasters deliver the content and like run the workshops and everything. And it's been a great collaboration. And so we actually decided to put together, based on the successes of some of these members collaborating, we put together a little guide on how to collaborate with how Rotary and Toastmasters can collaborate on this kind of a project. So I don't know if that's something that your clubs would be interested in doing, but
Maybe.
seems,
It's one of the hard things is for Rotary clubs is they have their things that they do every year to
yes.
support. And to do something
Okay.
new and squeeze it in, it has to be within a certain dollar range in order
Oh,
generally to get approved, not a
okay.
big amount generally, unless you're going to
Yeah.
have a club member who really wants to support it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I recently joined the Rotary Club in my town, and I'm discovering that it's really interesting, having worked at Rotary for 18 years and then experiencing it as a member and going to the meetings and everything. It's nice to get that different perspective.
Both of my Rotary and Toastmaster clubs are really fun, and we have some great personalities and a lot of humor going on in both of them. They're basically very different organizations too, though, and especially because of Rotary clubs, the people have been there for a lot of times a very long time. Although we
Hmm.
have a good range of members at both places.
Oh, okay.
But it's interesting some of the interaction between people that have been there for a long time. They're good-natured kidding back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely have some long timers in our club too, but we're also welcoming a lot of new members just in the past year that I've been in the club. So that's good to see.
So do you have hold an office in your Rotary club?
Do I have oh, no, not this year. It's my first year as a member.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll probably, I'm actually surprised they haven't asked me to speak yet. I thought that would, that they would want to hear a
Just
little
find a person
more.
who's in search of the schedule and just ask them to put you on there.
I'm sure I could get put on. Yeah. Actually, I did join the DEI committee, belonging committee that the club has. I've only attended a couple meetings so far, but yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that you're doing that's interesting that might be of interest?
There's a new emphasis on external relationships at Rotary, like working with different external organizations to try to engage participants in Rotary activities, and with the hope that they will, like what they see and be invited to join. So that's something that I'm really interested in, to help grow Rotary and expand our reach. And we're like looking at different organizations right now, and just trying to think about what those possibilities could look like.
It sounds exciting. You
Yeah,
never know what's going to happen in the future. But
you
okay.
never, yeah,
All right, Carrie. So I guess we'll wrap it up right now. Thank you very much for your input and your insights into Toastmaster and Rotary interaction. And I
you're
look forward
welcome.
to seeing you the next time in the future, maybe at another international convention, or pop into our website and join one of our meetings.
Yeah,
We love visitors.
I will. Thanks so much for having me on this
Thank you,
podcast.
Carrie.
Okay, bye.